First of all, thanks for everyone for being here on a wonderful day in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a momentous day for Front Steps Housing and Services. I'm David Eddy, board chair. I've been on the board since, thank you. Yeah, so I've been on the board since 2011, and since almost the first day that I took a position with the board, we've been talking about a new facility to replace our 60-unit facility just north of here on West 25th. And this is a long time coming, much deserved, and again, a big round of applause to everyone that's worked in the project to date. So I'd like to do a couple of acknowledgments up here on our stage. We have Elaine Gimmel with Eden, who's going to be our property manager for our new building. And we've got Jeff Patterson, the director of CMHA, who's going to provide a bulk of the vouchers to help us run the facility. So please help me give them a round of applause. And I'd also like to thank one of our neighbors here, Nestle's, right across the street. So you may have noticed we have Nestle's water. They've given us cookies. And the parking lot directly south that many of you parked on is actually Nestle's. So it's great to be welcomed as a neighbor, and it feels really good to be welcomed out here. So thank you to Nestle's. And then a couple of other reminders here. If you haven't signed in, we'd love to know who you are so we can stay in touch. Give us a phone number or an email on the sign-in sheets at front, and we'll do that. So at this point in time, I'm going to pass it on to Sherry Brandon, our CEO of Front Steps Housing and Services.
Good afternoon, everyone. We so appreciate you guys coming out and celebrate with us. It is truly an exciting time for Front Steps Housing and Services. It's been, as we say, a long time coming. So we just thank you again for celebrating with us, and we hope to see you even beyond this point. But I'd like to introduce someone to you today. First, Front Steps would like to honor the founders of Transitional Housing, which was the former name of Front Steps Housing and Services. The four sisters from the congregation of St. Joseph include Sister Loretta Schulte, who at this time is 92 years old. But due to health reasons, Sister Loretta was unable to be here with us for the groundbreaking ceremony. However, she did write a statement for this momentous occasion. But I can tell you, when I spoke to Sister Loretta, she sounds stronger than I am. So I had to really decide who's the elder here. Is it me or is it really her? Because she was very strong. And so she has sent in her stead Sister Jacqueline Gooden, who is on the congregation of St. Joseph's leadership team, is here to present Sister Loretta's statement about Front Steps and the work that we're doing.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want you to know that Sister Loretta is well and healthy and a much beloved figure in our congregation. And so please channel her as I speak her words. On behalf of the sisters of the congregation of St. Joseph, I would like to thank Front Steps for inviting us here today and congratulate you on the groundbreaking of your new building, St. Joseph's Commons. We are truly honored that you have chosen to acknowledge our legacy and history with Front Steps in this way. I also want to personally thank you for your continued commitment to serving one of the most vulnerable populations in the city of Cleveland, those persons who are low income and without a home. When we first conceived of transitional housing in the early 1980s, it was because we, as Sisters of St. Joseph, saw the urgent and critical need for safe, decent, and affordable housing. We are, as sisters, impelled to serve those we call the dear neighbor, by whom we mean everyone. In my work with transitional housing, I found the women we serve to be the dearest of neighbors. More than 30 years later, the growth of transitional housing, now Front Steps, is truly astounding, as evidenced by today's groundbreaking. and the thousands of women and men who have been helped. I am humbled to have been part of founding this ministry and to bear witness to the next chapter in your evolution. Please know that you are ever in our prayers, and we look forward to the completed St. Joseph's Common. Thank you.
So before I bring the mayor up to speak a few words, I'd like to tell you a little bit about him. On January 2nd, 2018, Mayor Frank G. Jackson took the oath of office for his historic fourth term, which will make him the City of Cleveland's longest-serving mayor. During his time in office, Mayor Jackson has been an advocate for building equity and opportunity in all of Cleveland's neighborhoods. Mayor Jackson's a lifelong resident of the Central neighborhood, where he began his career in elected office as its city councilman and later city council president. He's a graduate of Cleveland Public Schools, Cuyahoga Community College, and Cleveland State University, the latter of which he earned his bachelor's, master's, and law degrees. He began his public service career as an assistant city prosecutor in the City Cleveland Municipal Court Clerk's Office. Some of his accomplishments include investing more than $265 million in Cleveland's neighborhoods since 2007 on streetscapes, recreation facilities, and other capital improvements, and working with the public sector to encourage more than $7 billion in public development in the City of Cleveland. Mayor Frank G. Jackson.
Good afternoon. I want to congratulate Front Step Housing and Services, also Metro West and St. Joseph on this groundbreaking. But special thanks to all those who made it possible, because the subject matter that this is for, those who are homeless, particularly chronically homeless, is not an easy subject matter. And many communities have rejected it, even though they talk about what should be done, but when it comes time to do it, many communities reject it. And so I'm special thanks to this community, who has not only accepted, embraced it, but has also have advocated for this type of service. You know, when I go to other cities, or I talk to people who are from other cities and they come to Cleveland, and they comment as to how we have a continuum of care in the city of Cleveland for homeless, and how we, between the city and the county, do it in such a way that we're really attempting to serve people rather than to put on the pretense of service. So again, congratulations and thank you to everybody who's made this possible.
Next, we're going to welcome Councilman Kerry McCormick. Councilman McCormick's represented the 3rd Ward of Cleveland since 2016. Ward 3, one of the city's most diverse wards, includes the neighborhood of Downtown, Tremont, Ohio City, and Stockyards. Councilman McCormick is chairman of Council's Operations Committee and vice chairman of the Health and Human Services Committee. He also serves on 3 other committees: Finance, Development, Planning and Sustainability, and Utilities. In addition, Councilman McCormick is a member of the Cleveland City Planning Commission and the Cuyahoga County Office of Homeless Services Advisory Board. Councilman McCormick is committed to continuing the progress in Ward 3 through focusing on quality of life issues, encouraging balanced community development, and connecting all community members to opportunity. And I can say on a personal note, Councilman McCormick has been engaged in this project since he took office and has been supportive of us at every turn. So, Councilman McCormick.
Thank you, David, and to our phenomenal director, Sherry, thank you so much for all the good work you do on a daily basis. Again, my name is Kerry McCormick, and I have the privilege of representing not only this area, but downtown and the near west side of the city of Cleveland. I do really want to highlight and point out to Mayor Frank Jackson for, through all of his years as mayor, for never forgetting those in the community that need our help the most. He's a humble man. He doesn't stand up and speak for a long time, but he's stayed true to that, and I really want to call that out and appreciate that. I wear 2 hats in this conversation. This is my ward, but I also sit on the Office of Homeless Services Advisory Board with Miss Gillette behind me, who's another rock star in Cleveland. The near west side, it's true, absolutely. But downtown in the Near West Side, we are seeing a lot of growth. You can just look around you and see that growth within you. But the only way that we can create sustainable and community neighborhood growth is ensuring that we have housing options and amenities for people of all different backgrounds. That is why when Front Steps came to us and we started these conversations about their future home, our message was clear here on the Near West Side in Ward 3. Our door is open. Our arms are open. We want you here. Not will we figure it out, not will we check with somebody, not will we get back to you tomorrow or next year. Our message was very clear. All folks are welcome in our community. We want people of all different backgrounds to find a home here and to be connected to the resources available on the Near West Side of the city of Cleveland. So we were unequivocal on our support for Front Steps. We opened our arms. We want the next project too. Wherever that's coming from, looking at the folks behind me, we'll take that as well. So we are so excited to have Front Steps here in Ohio City, and from Ohio City coming down here into the Barbara Queen Vega neighborhood. We know how well of an organization they are and how well run they are. And the second part of it is looking at the city as a whole. We have a phenomenal Office of Homeless Services, the collaboration that happens in this community to ensure that housing options are available to folks and that we're coordinating our resources. Not that we have just all these different resources that aren't talking to each other. Our homeless service providers and housing options talk to each other, meet on a regular basis, and ensure that we're communicating and working together. So I'm so proud that today we're breaking ground on this facility, but it's a part of a bigger picture here in Cleveland and Cuyahoga County of our community saying we're going to work together to ensure that we properly house people with dignity and respect and that all people are welcome in our community. So we are so excited here in Ward 3 to have this groundbreaking today. And with that, I'll kick it back. Thank you, guys.
Representative Yvonne M. Conwell could not be with us today, but she sent a proclamation congratulating Front Steps Housing and Services on our groundbreaking ceremony, and I'd like to read that proclamation. The Council of Cuyahoga County, Ohio, takes profound pride and deep personal pleasure in recognizing the St. Joseph Commons groundbreaking. Whereas Front Steps Housing and Services is a nonprofit 501c3 organization dedicated to ending the cycle of homelessness in Cuyahoga County through permanent supportive housing and services. Located in Cleveland, Ohio City, the organization provides individuals and families with permanent housing, lifelong solutions to increase self-sufficiency and independence. Services include affordable housing, client-centered comprehensive case management, and support services. And whereas Front Steps Housing and Services is hosting its groundbreaking event to celebrate St. Joseph's Commons at 2554 West 25th Street, Cleveland, Ohio. Whereas St. Joseph Commons will be a permanent supportive housing facility that will replace the existing outdated structure built in 1958. The new location has excellent access to public transportation and will allow current tenants to remain in a familiar neighborhood, reducing the disruption to their daily activities. St. Joseph Commons will be comprised of 68 fully furnished one-bedroom, one-bath apartments. Now therefore be it resolved that District 7 Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell, on behalf of the Council of Cuyahoga County, Ohio, hereby congratulates Front Steps Housing and Services and extends best wishes for a most successful groundbreaking ceremony. And now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Scott Osecki, Chief Executive Officer for the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County. Scott took this position, he was appointed to this position March 1st, 2018. As Chief Executive Officer, Scott leads and oversees the staff of the Adams Board and is responsible for advocacy, planning, and management of a recovery-oriented system of care that delivers quality treatment, and recovery services through its contract agencies.
Thank you very much, and I'm very excited to be here today, and with all of the other speakers up here, I can't believe that I'm up here with them, so I just want to say thank you for allowing me up here. So the Adams Board operates a recovery-oriented system of care for people living with mental illness and/or substance abuse disorders. This means that all the programs that we fund are person-centered, support continued care throughout the lifespan, and are focused on sustained recovery. Front Steps Housing and Services is an excellent example of supporting a recovery-focused continuum of care for individuals that have been homeless and living with substance abuse and/or mental disorders. This organization not only helps people find a space to call their own, they also help them live full lives enriched by case management, coordination of health care, and a variety of healing programs, including an intensive outpatient program and art therapy program that the Adams Board funds. We're very supportive of Front Steps' request for this new facility to the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services because we know that they can help more Cuyahoga County residents in need with more physical space and efficient space. In fact, they are one of our consortium partners of a supportive employment grant that we've submitted to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration of SAMHSA. This new building will help Front Steps expand its services and provide care to even more individuals. We are so proud to support the Front Steps and wish the staff all the best as they break ground on this new facility. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ruth Gillette. Ruth Gillette is the program director of the Cuyahoga County Office of Homeless Services. Her work experience include Cleveland City Planning Department with a focus on public policy and equity planning, community development, and tenant rights and affordable housing. The Office of Homeless Services is the lead agency for the Cuyahoga County Continuum of Care. Since fiscal year 2011, the COC has supported the implementation of the Coordinated Intake System, a homeless crisis response system focused on maintaining a basic safety net of emergency shelter services and expanding access to permanent housing and permanent supportive housing as a means to rapidly end the experience of homelessness.
Thank you very much. So I brought a visual aid.
Be your easel today.
Yeah, and Scott is the easel. Whoa! All right, there's 30 seconds of my 2 minutes already. So with 2 minutes, I thought, go with the picture is worth 1,000 words. And this is a great day, let's just say, it's a really great day. It's a day to really celebrate the success of everyone who's been working on this for so long. And usually people think, I don't know, can you see it on that side? Usually people think of success as like success, right? There it is. But really, we know that success looks more like that. It's, it's never a straight line. Mostly, there's ups, there's downs, there's sideways, and but here we are. And so this is a great day when they actually put the last brick and welcome the residents moving up the street and 8 more new residents. That will also be another success. So thanks to the board, THI's board, and to Sherry, and to the city for supporting the project, and the county and the federal government and the state of Ohio with the tax credit. So thank you.
Well, now I wish I had visual aids. All right, so I'd like to take a little interlude in the agenda here to thank some of our partners that are here, that really the building itself, the project would not have come together. RDL Architects and Pearl Developers. I see Greg Barron and Kevin Brown hanging around the back there. Gentlemen, RDL, thank you very much. project of $14 million in scope and 4 stories and parking spaces and water runoff and trees that have to be protected. So many things that we never thought about that they've helped us guide the process through has been really appreciated. So, again, thank you very much. All right, so next I'd like to introduce Ricardo Leon, Managing Director, Metro West Community Development Organization. Ricardo's was previously the economic development practitioner with a background in economic impact consulting, corporate site selection, and startup development. Metro West seeks to revitalize, celebrate the history, and increase collaboration, diversity, and development in 3 Cleveland neighborhoods: Clark Fulton, Stockyards, and Brooklyn Center. When St. Joseph Commons is built, it will reside within the Metro West CDO footprint. So we've already received a great welcome from our new neighbors at Nestle. We plan on engaging in a strategic planning process as an organization to help figure out how we can leverage our building as a resource for our new community and our new neighbors. And we do have an announcement today. Ricardo has agreed to join the Front Steps board as our newest board member. All right, no pressure. So with that, Ricardo.
Thank you, everyone. I should have brought visual aids, and I didn't, unfortunately. But first and foremost, I would like to just thank Front Steps for giving me the opportunity to be here. It's greatly appreciated. But even more importantly, for them willingly investing in the Clark Fulton neighborhood. For those of you that are unfamiliar, the Clark Fulton neighborhood has historically been underserved and overlooked and has not really seen much investment. So the fact that they're willing to be here and actually invest and create a beautiful new gateway in our community that will really be the entrance to our neighborhood is genuinely a blessing. And I can't speak to how important and how much of an impact this is going to have in our community. Like I said, the development is going to create a beautiful new gateway into our community, but it's also going to offer housing opportunities to the most vulnerable members of our community. And that's truly the most important piece of this. We, as an organization, are working towards creating a genuinely inclusive, diverse, and equitable community. And we look forward to partnering with Front Steps for the long term to ensure that we are working together strategically to ensure that actually becomes a reality in our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Quick shout out to our friend Tom McNair at Ohio City Inc. Been 35 plus years in Ohio City. We'll miss it, but we're not far away. So promise we'll see you again. Visit. Will do. All right, so I'd like to introduce Mike Griffin with National Development Council. Mr. Griffin's a fund manager and director of investor relations for the National Development Council's Corporate Equity Fund. He joined the organization in April of 2014. And in this role is responsible for all aspects of the fund, including maintaining and establishing relationships with corporate investors with the objective of raising capital that the fund invests in affordable housing projects across the country. So here's what that means. So Mike has a very large checkbook, and he has provided the vast majority of the capital through the affordable housing tax credit and has basically got all the money together, and we've agreed to put it into this project, and for that we are definitely very much supportive. So, Mike.
I feel like I'm competing with the trucks across the street, so I'll be a little loud. So, Ruth Gillette is a rock star, so we do have to acknowledge that again. She's amazing. So as a fund manager for National Development Council, I have the privilege of being a part of properties like this across the country. We at NDC are currently funding properties as far-flung as Shiprock, New Mexico, Hartford, Connecticut, and Fairbanks, Alaska. But for me, I can't overstate how thrilled I am to be here today for this particular groundbreaking for St. Joseph's Commons. Being involved in this project is the completion of a circle that launched me into my 3-decade-long career in affordable housing. Front Steps, as we know, was founded as Transitional Housing, Inc. in the former Travelodge Motel down the street by my good friends, Sister Loretta and Sister Donna, joined by Sister Rita and Sister Irene. My aunt, Sister Bridget Griffin, joined the team soon after it opened as the first development director. So Maria, that's your job. She pulled me in as a college student to volunteer and to help to create a database of donors to track their contributions. As I prepared to graduate from college, Sister Bridget told me something that's been used often in movies and speeches, but has its origins in Luke's gospel. To those who much is given, much will be expected. And she said that I should use my education and talents to positively impact the lives of those in the neighborhoods of Cleveland. Now, Sister Bridget was a very gentle soul, but her suggestions had the power of a general's order. So I kicked off my career in affordable housing at the Famicos Foundation in the Huff neighborhood. As someone who's been connected through Sister Bridget my whole life with the Congregation of St. Joseph, I believe it's fortuitous that you've chosen to honor your founding by these amazing sisters in naming this St. Joseph's Commons. The central charism or mission of the congregation is to bring all into unity with God, neighbor, and all creation. In short, that all may be one. Through the housing services and support provided here, we will further that charism together, that charism of unity, and ensure that everyone has a seat at the table. On behalf of the National Development Council and myself, congratulations to all of you on your hard work and much success in the future.
We've heard from so many in terms of how they have impacted our project and will impact our project from this day forward. But I think one of the greatest voices to be heard is someone who has been impacted by Front Steps Housing and Services. And so I would like to introduce to you one of our current residents who will be speaking about how Front Steps have impacted her. And her name is Noreen Child. But I always ask that you give my clients a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Noreen Child, and I come from New York City. I've been out here approximately 26 years. I've been homeless, I've been beaten, I've been abused, I've used drugs, I've used alcohol, you name it, I did it. I was homeless for a year straight, and basically I moved to Front Steps, which was known as THI in the beginning, and I made it work. I've been here 5 years. 5 years I've been here. I've written a story. It's called Without a Home. It tells you where I was then and where I am now. I want to thank Front Steps for all the things that they have done with me and all the clients and the staff who have worked with me also. I love everybody in this community. I love all you guys. And let's, guys, make a cheer, let it work.
Well, I guess this is the time that we've been waiting for, right?
It's the time. We're going to actually break ground, and we have ground over there to your right, our left. Thank you to Pearl for hauling in several cubic yards of actual dirt. We're going to hand out shovels in a minute, but I want to solve one quick mystery of how do you put 68 units and parking in a great new facility on just this little pad of asphalt here? Well, you don't. That fence line's not the end of the property. We go all the way back to the houses back there. So we're not going to be cramped. It's not going to be like our falling down into the river, parking lot at the other building. It's all going to be fine. So I think with that, we are going to hand out shovels to a whole lot of folks, including our dignitaries up here, and we'll figure out some other shovels to hand out to Mr. Patterson, Ms. Gimbel. And with that, everybody get their cameras out. Let's take some pictures. Thank you.